Maybe we need a light today. Hi, friends. Okay. Oh, wait, this has to go over here. This has to go over here. Okay, this one's not a test. We're really live now. Oh, wait. Push this. So I really love recording on my computer way more than I do on my phone. I think it's being crappy. Shoot. I just did a speed. Hold on. Maybe it's fine. No. What's this saying? My connection is unstable. What the freaking crap? This makes me crazy. Like, literally crazy. Not a fan, friends. Not a fan of this. Let's see what's happening. Okay, maybe it's working. I don't know. Oh no. Okay. I really lately feel like incredibly technologically challenged. Technologically challenged. And I'm not. It's just real annoying.
Dad said to be on the normal Wi-Fi.
I am.
Not the extended one?
Mm-hmm. You should. Was it working fine earlier?
Working fine.
I am on the normal Wi-Fi, not the extended. Why is there a Wi-Fi called Glock?
Well, my Wi-Fi is the best Wi-Fi.
It's not working. No, maybe it is working. Okay. We have a storm right now too.
Yes, that's fine.
But that's not like a reason for the internet not to work. Well, my internet is, I think, okay now.
Is it working?
Yeah, but really, do you see this one called Glock?
Yeah, I know whose that is.
Oh.
What her name? I was trying to use it to scare people. Like, don't sign into this one or you'll get shot or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did a
Look.
few. So, yeah.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? It's jumpy. I know, it's really annoying.
Snagging on that.
I know, but look what it did.
Is that Facebook or YouTube?
This is Facebook.
You're still working.
Okay, it is working. Okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna put this here. How about that? I think that's gonna work. Oh, friends. I really it's discouraging me, it's annoying me, and I need to stop letting it annoy me. Because I had to broadcast on my phone for the past 2 weeks, and I don't like it. Because I have a harder time looking at your chat and blah. This is sort of me complaining. I'm sorry, I'm not a complainer. I don't like it. I don't like it when things don't work like they're supposed to. It just kind of discourages me. Okay. So let's just pretend the past 10 minutes didn't happen. It wasn't 10 minutes, it was 5 minutes, but it's fine. Welcome to Online Steps. I'm so glad y'all are here. I also, what? Oh, okay. So it looks good. I also have had this weird voice thing going on since we were in Austin, which was the end of July. Maybe I'll get it checked out. I haven't been sick. It's just my voice sounds funny. I think that's bizarre. So anyways, well, y'all have found yourself an online success. I'm so glad you're here. Tonight is something that I'm just going to be honest. It's one of those nights where I need to share with you something that I'm learning. And then I have to hope that it resonates with you, which I think that it will. I wouldn't come on here and tell you something if I didn't think that it would resonate with you. Because I think that's how we learn the best, honestly, is when we're in the middle of things. So I'm in the middle of things, and I want to share with you just what I'm walking through and how I'm learning from it. And then I know that it's going to help your business too. So welcome to Online Steps. How are you guys? Everybody good and safe? Maybe it is my allergies. It could be. For sure could be. Hey, I want to say thanks to y'all for everybody that has been responding to my emails. So I've been off social media sort of on accident. I don't, there's like no specific reason, except that, I don't know. I started reading a book called Digital Minimalism. That's part of it. But then I just like slowly slid off and haven't been on, and it's been really, really great. Hey, Angela. It's been really great. And I know some of you are thinking, well, I could never do that. I could never just slip off of social media. And I don't plan to be gone forever. Well, and obviously I'm on social media right now, but you get what I'm saying, essentially. It's more just like, I think, a recheck for me. And the thing is, I wasn't struggling with social media. It wasn't something like I felt like was out of control for me. I didn't feel like I was addicted or any of that. It was just that it was taking up a lot of time. And I just thought, well, what if I just don't do it for a little bit? And the other things that I've been able to get done and projects that I've been able to do. And I was just really shocked. I think more than anything, I was shocked at the time I was spending. I was missing the connection piece to a point, but since I've been still emailing and sending emails to our email list and getting responses and talking back and forth with you guys that way, and that's been really cool. So that's where all my words have gone lately, is into a book and into emails. So it's good. I don't know why I told you that, other than just to say, like, it's one thing I'm doing right now, and I don't know how long it'll last, but that's what's happening. So anyways, let's get to it. How about let's just get to it? So I'm glad you're here tonight. Our goal always on Online Steps to Success is to help you dream really big dreams with your business, help you work smarter, not harder, help you make money, and then help you change the world. And those are sort of really big and lofty things to say, aren't they? They really are. But that's really how we feel about, for one, what this business can do, and not only in your life, but in the life of the people around you. So tonight, we are going to talk about identity and what it has to do with your business. And this is just something I'm learning right now, and I hope that it resonates with you. And if anything that we talk about tonight, you think somebody else would benefit, I'd love for you to shoot it their way. So I want to start. Do you guys get James Clear's emails? It sounds funny, plural. James Clear, he spoke at Reunion this year. He wrote Atomic Habits. I'm on his email list, and he sends this email on Thursdays called 321 or something. It's like three ideas, two quotes, and one question is what it is. It's so good. But I wanted to read you part of it. He has one of the quotes today. So this is, if you're on his email list, then you already know. But I have to tell you this because it's good. So this is a quote from Machiavelli. It says, "Make mistakes of ambition and not mistakes of sloth." And then he goes on to define mistakes of ambition being failing on a big goal or creating something that nobody wants. That's if that happens, then you've made a mistake in terms of ambition, right? Mistakes of sloth would be not attempting a big goal or consuming instead of creating. That's when we choose to just sit back in the sidelines and let our fear overtake us, right? He says, mistakes of ambition teach, and mistakes of sloth comfort. And the reason I wanted to read that to you today is because I want to talk about how some of us have gotten comfortable with the identity that we've created for ourselves. We've gotten comfortable in an uncomfortable kind of way. So I was talking to my friend Karen today, and we were talking about something that Jeannie Allen calls, it's basically like the prisons we put ourselves in, or the kind of traps that we make, the cages we put ourselves in that we make look so pretty. Some of us and some of you for sure are in a cage. You are in a place where you have believed lies about who you are for so long that you're essentially trapped. But you have made your cage really pretty. Like you've painted the walls and you've hung stuff up on them and you have gotten so comfortable there that you have essentially forgotten who you actually are, because this cage is a mock representation of who you really are, and it's keeping you from growing the business that you actually want. I have been shocked at some of your responses to my emails when I asked you what you're dreaming about. And some of you like have the most beautiful dreams. And after I asked you what you're dreaming about, I asked you what the obstacles were. And by and large, most of your obstacles have to do with your mind. It's our mind that keeps us from moving. Some of you have been running your business. Back up. I'm not even going to say you've been running your business. You have been playing at running your business, pretending to run your business for a really long time. And you haven't made the progress you want. You're not getting where you want to go because your mind is self-sabotaging you. And the more time I spend, okay, here's the deal. Yes, I can tell you all day long how to book a party, how to get more sales, how to talk to people. Yes, but so can thousands of other people tell you how to do those things. You're 100% right. But what matters more than that is what you believe about who you are. Because if you become confident in who you actually are, all of those other things get a whole lot easier to do. And when you get comfortable with who you are, you have a clearer path of how to make those things work, right? So we're talking about our mind tonight, if you're just joining us, and how it sabotages us in business. The more women that I coach and that I talk to and that I work with, the more I'm not even surprised anymore. I mean, I used to be surprised because I think for so long I thought that the lies that I had in my head, that I was the only one that was screwed up, right? We think that, like we think we're the only ones that have these horrible things that run through our mind about how crappy we are, how incapable we are, how we'll never succeed. We think we're the only ones. I thought I was the only one. Like, surely nobody else thinks about themselves like this. But everybody thinks about themselves like that. You would be shocked. And here's the biggest problem. I was talking earlier about this cage we put ourselves in. That's just, we make it real pretty. We make it really pretty and we feel super comfortable there. But that cage is the thing that's keeping us from truly having the business and the life and the freedom that we want. The question becomes, who decides who you are? Where do you find your identity? Now, if you believe in God, your answer may be different than someone who doesn't, right? But either way, there is some place that you are getting your identity from, that you're deciding who you are. It's either the lies that have been in your head since childhood about what you're capable of, what you're not capable of, that you're too much, that you're not enough, whatever those lies are. It's those lies. Maybe you're getting your identity from people around you. And this is a big one. And this is a big one that a lot of people struggle with. They are looking for validation and affirmation. That's a big bug that just landed on my desk. Be cool. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Everybody be calm. Okay. I think I got it. Sorry. Okay, I got it. I'm really sorry. That is the enemy right there, trying to distract me with bugs on my desk. So sorry. Okay, what was I talking about? See? I lost my train of thought. Jamie, what was I talking about? Lies. Sorry about lies. Okay, so we all have these tracks of lies. And the problem is we are in our own little prison where the walls are painted really pretty and we are comfortable there. And we don't even know that they're lies. We don't even know. We have no idea. And I have to tell you this because this is something that just really in the past year, as I have tried to make a shift to being a healthier version of myself, as I've tried to make a shift into healing and purpose and all of these big things, I got hit head on in the head with lies that they'd always been there. This recurring track of things that I heard over and over again in my mind, they'd always been there. But I was just so used to looking at them inside my cage, I didn't know they were there. I didn't know they were lies. It's kind of like when you drive, you know how sometimes you're driving home from someplace and you get home and you're like, I don't remember the last 5 minutes, you're on autopilot. And those lies are looping back on autopilot over and over and over again. And they're in your head and they are sabotaging you and your business and your relationships and everything else. So where are you getting your identity from? Who is defining who you are? Is it the lies that you're not even aware of? Is it people? Some of whose opinion may not actually matter at all. I'm going to tell you where I struggle the most with this. I've gotten better about the lies in my head because I have become more conscious of them. I've started to recognize what they are and how they were sabotaging me. The problem now with identity for me is that it's not now, it's always been a problem. It's just now I'm starting to see it for the first time, is that I still care a little bit about what people think. I care a little bit about what people think about who I am and what I'm doing and what I'm not doing, right? And what's funny is we get really caught up on wondering what somebody else is going to think, or worrying what somebody else is going to think, or being concerned with the thought I hear all the time is and I don't know, I guess there's like a gaggle of mean girls. Isn't that what you would call a group of mean girls? A gaggle? I think that's what I would call them. Just like a gaggle of mean girls. And they like look at me with their like eyebrows and they say things like, who does she think she is? This is all in my head, by the way. This is all imaginary. But I've made it to feel very, very real. Like it feels real to me. It feels like this gaggle of mean girls is right there sitting on the end of my desk. And Linda, she's just a witch in my head. She's like the ruler of the mean girls. She just puts doubt in my mind all the freaking time. And some of you are battling so much doubt that you're self-sabotaging. You're taking 3 steps forward and 4 steps back. And you wonder why you can't get people to stick around. And you wonder why your hosts don't read book. And you wonder why your business isn't where you want it to be. Sometimes it's because we are self-sabotaging. We're letting the doubt, we're letting the lies, we're letting a false identity of who we are dictate how we act. And I promise you it's not going to serve your business. It's not. It's not going to serve your business, and it's not going to serve you either. So here's how I want you to think about it. I want you to think about, and this, I feel like we are in such a crazy, bizarre time in the world where everything is at our fingertips and we can just be overcome with content over and like continuously all day long, and not even content, like crap, honestly. Some of it's just complete mindless time suck, right? And if we are not conscious and mindful of it, all of those things go in our head somewhere. When your mind can't stop racing, when you can't make a decision, when self-doubt rules everything that you are, it all comes back to you deciding who is defining my identity. Is it really me? Or is it the opinions of other people? Or is it the pretend opinions of other people, right? You have people in your head, and you do the whole thing where they make pretend decisions and opinions about you, don't they? They do. Because we're human and we do care what people think. But there comes a time when you have to draw a line in the sand and decide what you want, and decide who you are, and decide that the opinions of other people don't actually really matter. For me, and this is just a personal thing, I have struggled. I don't even know how to say it. And the only way I know how to describe it is some of you are in this place where your business, you feel like you're wrestling with it. Like you feel like you're in this almost battle trying to make it work. And I was 100% there, not with my business, but with this other dream I have. And so I knew that I wanted to write a book. And I've talked about it, and I've talked about doing it, just like you've talked about your business and you've talked about doing it, and you've kind of done it. And I kind of did it. Like I kind of started a couple times, and I kind of then I kept saying, well, I'm getting ready to do it. And what I was doing was I was letting that recurring tape of lies run through my brain and make decisions for me unconsciously. I couldn't even see it. And I have to tell you this tonight because I know that's where some of you are. You want this thing to work. But it feels like a fight. It feels like a struggle. And I just want to encourage you tonight to be honest with yourself. And that's the best way that I know how to say it, is you essentially have to get really honest with what you're actually doing versus what you're saying you're doing. How we feel and how we act are two different things. Sometimes we feel like we're running a business, or we feel like we're making a to-do list, right? But the action that we're taking isn't producing a result. So get honest with yourself about where you're at. It was August 7th. I feel like that day I was just going to sit in my brain. And I think for me, it was like my eyes got opened wide. And I realized that I'd been lying to myself, that I had told myself I was doing everything I needed to do to write this book. But what I wasn't doing is I wasn't being honest. Because if I had been being honest, I was freaking scared to death. Scared to death. And I know that some of you feel that way because I got your emails that told me that you feel that way. Anytime we level up, we rise, we go another notch, we challenge ourselves, we push ourselves, we chase a dream. Anytime we do anything like that, it's scary. It has to be scary. There should be fear. And if there's not, you're not thinking big enough. You're not dreaming big enough. You're not pushing far enough. You're not challenging yourself enough. I was scared to death. And I was scared of failing. I was scared of sucking. I sat in therapy with my counselor, and I just said, she goes, what's the worst that's going to happen? What's the worst that's going to happen? And I sat there and I was like, there's not even a worst case scenario, because I have to write this story for my kids. And if they're the only people that read it, great. I was like, I guess the worst that could happen is they wouldn't even read it. But even then, I know that the process of it is something I need for me. So I have to ask you, if you're scared still, if you're really honest with yourself and you haven't set the big goal and you haven't said, this is what I'm going to do, and you haven't, set the goal to say, I'm going to earn a trip, or I'm going to promote, or I'm going to share this opportunity, or I'm going to, whatever you're scared to do, you've got to get honest with yourself. Face the fear. Acknowledge it. Some of you don't want to say that you're scared. You don't want to say that it scares you because that seems weak. It's not weak. If you're being ambitious, if you are trying, if you are pushing, if you are growing, yeah, it's scary. There should be fear. But then take it all the way. Okay, let's say this. Let's say it's September. We're a whole month into an incentive trip period. Let's say you stop being scared today. Let's say today you say, all right, you know what? I'm going to earn a trip. I've never earned a trip. I'm going to do it. The first thing you're going to feel is fear. Fear. You're going to be scared. Because if you say it, it means you could fail, right? But what's the worst that's going to happen? The worst that can happen is you don't earn it. But you look back and say, but I tried. And I got a little braver, right? And you learn something about yourself and what you're capable of and what the obstacles were. But you don't just sit and consume and make excuses anymore. You get brave and you get bold and say, I'm going to try. I think the biggest thing when it comes to getting past fear, and Karen and I were talking about this today, the way we move past fear is simply through action. Action is the thing that takes the fear away. Because when we take the step, when we show up, it's about showing up, right? When we show up, it gets a little less scary. Because we did it, we showed up, we didn't die, we're still here. And maybe it sucks. And maybe we're not great. And maybe, maybe I needed to book 6 parties and I only booked 2. But you showed up. And you're making progress. You can't make progress if you don't say what you want, if you don't decide what you want, if you don't show up. We can't be forward moving. We can't be becoming who we're supposed to be if we don't show up. So, my therapist said to me, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? And then I work through all that. I'm like, nothing. Like, it's a win-win. Like, yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, I'm going to feel crappy about it. Yes, all the things, but I have to do it. And some of you are in that spot right now where you're tired of fighting with your business and you have to do it. When we make the decision to do the thing and to say we're going to do the thing, we then have to figure out what those obstacles are going to be. For me, I knew it was my head. For you and your business, it might be your head and your time and your children and your spouse and your real job, right? It might be all those things. But those are just obstacles that we can create a plan for. So if I know that time becomes an issue, I have to figure out what I can cut. Spend a little less time on social media. I have to get up a little bit earlier to watch one less show on Netflix, right? Yeah. If you want something bad enough, we'll figure out where to cut. Same is true with your real job. How do you work around it? How do you make it work? When can you do parties and what kind can you do? How are you going to sell product? If you don't have the ability to go out and do a home party, that is not an excuse for you not to make your business work. There are too many ways for you to sell product right now, for you to sit on your real job or your lack of time as an excuse. They're just excuses. They're excuses that make you feel really comfortable inside prison walls, is what they do. They look like really pretty art on your caged bars. So acknowledge them for what they are. Because every excuse you have, every single one, even the ones in your head, the ones that are lies, the ones that gaggle of mean girls is pretending to say about you, even those lies, there is a solution to them. Do not hang those obstacles up in the wall of your cell and sit there being comfortable. You were not made to be in a cage. You weren't. You were made and created to be free. Some of you don't even know you're in a cage. You've listened to the lies. They are running on autopilot. They look really great on your walls. Your cage is decorated cute. Why would you want to leave? You're getting fed. It's semi-safe, right? Listen, no place is safe. Even inside cages, you're not safe. The real world is not safe. Your safe job with 401k is not safe. None of it is safe. None of it is guaranteed. You don't even know if you get tomorrow. We don't know. Safety is a false lie that keeps you in semi-comfort. And I say semi-comfort because I know you can say, well, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. Yeah, fine is not okay. And okay is not great. And great is not living in purpose and victory. You were made to live in victory with purpose. Knowing who you are outside of the walls of a cage. Living in freedom. That's who you were. So I want to go back to I asked you earlier who determines your identity. And then I'm going to end here because I realize that I'm not giving you a step-by-step on anything. I don't have 10 points. I don't have a tactical takeaway for you. And I'm okay with that because right now in this season, my heart is to show up and try to attempt to teach you what I'm learning. Because it all relates. When we dream big dreams, which is what I think you need to be doing with this business, because the opportunities for you are unending and endless. When we dream big dreams with this business, we are pushed into growth. We are pushed into being pushed farther, right, than we maybe thought we could go. We're pushed into developing and learning about ourselves. And all of that correlates, all of it, kind of regardless of where you're at in your business or what your next step is. It all correlates. So I want to go back to that question of identity and where do you get your identity? Actually, I want to go to one other thing real fast because I want to talk about two things and then I want to talk about identity because I think these are both important too. One of the things I'm really surprised about when I talk to women, and every time we have a retreat, and every time we have someone in our home or we're hosting a retreat somewhere, we talk about gifts. And I push the question, like, what are you good at? What do you actually like to do? Like, what brings you joy? What are you naturally gifted in? And it is devastating to me how many women don't know what their gifts are. And that is a huge red flag to me that is proof a loop of lies in your brain telling you that you don't have gifts, that you're not naturally good at anything. It's things that some of you have stuffed since childhood. You excelled at something or you were good at something or you showed interest in something and that wasn't reciprocated someplace else. And so you just pushed it down. You all have gifts. Every single one of you. And if the the pings are going off in your head and you're doing that. I don't, or I don't know what mine are. There is a deep seated track of lies in your head that has made you believe that there's things you're not naturally good at. All of us are born with gifts. All of us are born with natural abilities, every single one. And if you've lost sight of that, if you've lost sight of the things that you're naturally gifted at or the things that you love to do, I would just encourage you to push into those questions. Just start journaling. What did you love to do as a child that you don't do anymore? What dreams did you have as a child that you just totally squashed? Now, some of those dreams are not relevant now, or maybe won't be relevant. Like maybe you wanted to be an astronaut, right? Well, I mean, you're probably not going to be an astronaut this time. Like, I'm not a dream crusher. I'm here for it. If you want to do it, we'll find a way. But you know what I mean? Like, but all of the dreams are seated in something, in a desire of our heart. So maybe it's not now that you want to be an astronaut, but maybe you do have this love and passion for adventure, for seeing new things and challenging yourself and pushing yourself, right? You see what I'm saying? So what are those things as a child that you let go of? What are the things that you used to do? What are the things that just bring you joy? Like in the perfect world, if you could do anything, and at the end of the day, sit down and say, I can't believe I get to do this. Like I can't believe this is what I was made for. What would it be? Some of you are going to have a hard time answering that question because you're so far from the truth of who you are that you don't remember, that you don't know. But it's there. It is all there. This is something you can journal through. This is something you can pray through. If you're a believer, these are things you can take to the Holy Spirit that when we ask and we truly seek answers, he is good to give us answers when we need them. So press into those things. Figure out what your gifts and talents are. There's also spiritual gifts tests that you can take. Just type in like free spiritual gift test online. I don't know specifically what one is, but like for instance, one of Brian's biggest gifts is faith. He's just one of the biggest faith-filled people I know, and but he also has a gift for speaking. He has a gift for hospitality. My gifts are teaching and hospitality and leadership. And what is so funny, and this is the enemy is so rude, so rude. Even when I say things, and I've been like pressing into the things I'm naturally good at for a long time. Even when I say them out loud, I almost want to apologize. Like, okay, like I didn't mean to say leadership because that sounds arrogant. Isn't that awful? That's what the enemy does. So he makes you think that the things that you are naturally good at, that you aren't, or that you're prideful if you think that you are. That's a crock of crap. Like that is so much crap. So don't let him do that to you. Don't. Resistance is it's so stupid, but it's real. And just be aware of it. Like I was very aware. I was like, I said leadership, and then I was like, oh. And even when I said it, I started thinking about the things that I suck at when it comes to leadership. That's crappy, right? You guys do that too. Don't let that happen. Say what you're good at. Figure out what your gifts are and build your business around them. Step into them. Be bold enough to say, this is what I'm good at. You all have gifts. You all have gifts. Promise you. You've just got to remember who the heck you are. That's so much a part of it. Okay, I want to talk about that. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about is critics, and then we're going to finish with identity. So critics are rude. This is something else Karen and I were talking about today. When we dictate how we feel based on somebody else's reaction to something, we think that we're being in control. We think that we're choosing to feel mad, right? Or we're choosing to feel frustrated with that person. When in reality, we're letting them dictate our feelings. I told Karen this today. It's like somebody told me one time when it comes to parenting, when you have a toddler that throws a tantrum. This is some of the best parenting advice I ever got, by the way. When you have a 2-year-old throwing a tantrum, your gut instinct is to react to that. Your gut instinct is to be pissed because they're pissed. Like you're not crying on the floor, but like you're real irritated that they're irritated. And somebody said to me, someone much older and wiser said to me, how insane is it for you to let your feelings and your actions be dictated by a 2-year-old who has no control over their feelings or their actions? But that's what we do. We do that with toddlers, right? A frustrated, tired, exhausted mom will absolutely take on the feelings of her 2-year-old because she feels the same way, right? Or she's just so irritated that her toddler's throwing a tantrum. But why would we let children change our circumstances? Why would we let them, I don't want to say change our circumstances, they change our circumstances all the time, but why would we let them change the way that we feel? Why would we let them change how our day goes? Like, I'm really sorry you're having a rough day, but I'm not going to have a rough day because you're having a rough day. Best parenting advice I ever got. Just because you're having a hard day as a 3-year-old, because I won't let you eat ice cream for breakfast. It's a hard world. Doesn't mean that I'm going to have a hard day. And the same is true for our relationships with other people. People are going to think you're too much. Some people are going to think you're not enough. Are you going to let them dictate how your day goes, or how your week goes, or how your business goes because of how they feel? No. It's ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous when I say it like that, doesn't it? But you do it all the time. You get frustrated with your downline. You get frustrated with your spouse. You get frustrated with people who don't get what you're doing. The critics, right? As long as you keep dreaming, as long as you keep growing, as long as you keep moving forward, there will always be critics. They're not going to go away. We've had more critics in the past year than we've had in our whole entire lives. And some of them from the hardest and weirdest places. And there is courage. No. There's freedom in deciding that you're not going to let somebody else dictate how your day goes, how your week goes, how your business goes. It's not their decision. It's yours. They're entitled to their opinion. It doesn't have to change the way that you feel. It doesn't. And listen, I'm in the middle of learning this. Like in the middle of learning this. Carrot said like nailing Jello to a tree. Oh, yeah, for real. I'm so in the throes of learning this. Something happened last week that just really made me angry. And man, you know what I wanted to do? And I did for a couple of days. It was something said about somebody that I love, and it just made me so angry. And I wanted to hold on to it. I wanted to. Like I did. I know that the right thing would be to just let it go. You know, Elsa just knows all the things, doesn't she? Just let it go. Okay, that's great. But sometimes I like to hold on. And I think you do too. Like we all do. Because we feel like when we hold on to our crap, like this, pretend this is, there's a bug over there, but I'm not going to pick up the bug. Pretend this is a ball of crap, okay? Which is essentially anytime something ugly or untrue or false comes out of somebody else's mouth, that's what it is. It's a ball of crap. And what do we do with it? We choose to pick it up and hold it in our hand. And me, I'm stubborn. And so I was so mad. I was just mad that this person would say this and that like who it was and how it was said. I got so mad. I just picked up the ball of crap and I put it in my hand. And I knew like inside of me, the thing to do was to just say, just let it go. Like, it's fine. It's fine. Actually, not even to say it's fine, because I've done that plenty in my life, and really it's fine is not fine, but just actually to forgive them. Like, usually when there's somebody talking crap or there's things that are said that are untrue, it's about them. It's not about the other person. It's about their insecurities, their envy, their jealousy. It's not about the other person. Man, I wanted to hold on to it, right? Like, because I felt like me holding on to it meant I was controlling it, right? We even watched this really great sermon on forgiveness that I was so powerful. It was just about like how bitterness just roots into us. And it was so good. If anybody wants it, I'll send it to you. But when it was over, Brian was like, wasn't that awesome? And there had been so much talk about this thing that had happened. And I was the one that was still angry. It was, he was like, wasn't that good? He's like, that's the right thing to do. Like, we just have to like, and I was like, yeah, it was good. I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm not going to forgive, because I felt like me holding on to the pile of crap meant I was controlling it. No, you don't admit. It meant I was holding on to a pile of crap. And it meant that person who said something ugly, who said something spiteful, was controlling me. Even though in my stubbornness, I thought I was controlling it. No, ain't nobody controlling a handful of crap. You're not. You're not. So just forgive, forget, walk away, put the crap down. We don't need it, right? The critics are going to come. They're going to come, and they're not going to go away. And what's funny is when this happened, I looked at him and I said, we knew this was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. Of course it's happening like this. They're not going to go away. But we get to choose how we react. So when someone doesn't understand what you're doing with your business, when someone thinks that you're being too much, when somebody like doesn't get the vision, when they think you're crazy because you're, okay, like you're going to, okay, good luck to you, right? Because that's what they all say, like, okay, good luck to you. That's a gaggle of mean girls. We don't listen to that. And their opinion, you don't have to hold on to it. Bless and release. Because you don't want to hold on to a pile of crap. You don't have space for that in your prison cell, all right? Or you sure as heck don't want to put a pile of crap in your prison cell. You just really don't, okay? We're not going to do that, all right? All right. Lori, I bet that job does have its fair share of crap slinging. Oh, okay. So I want to talk about the critics because, listen, they're just going to come. And you can't let the critics join the gaggle of mean girls that's already in your head. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, I want to go back to, and this is where we're going to finish, I want to go back to identity. If you want to stop fighting and wrestling and being frustrated and not making progress and taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back with your business, we've got to figure out where you're finding your identity. Yes, this has to do with lies. Yes, this has to do with all of those things. But at the end of the day, where are you choosing to get your identity from? If you believe in God, essentially your identity should come from Him and Him alone. I don't know if you know what the Bible says about who you are, but who you are, according to God, is pretty amazing. And when we can start to sit in how we were made and who we are and rest in that truth of our identity, you know what happens? When you start to actually believe that you were created for a purpose by a God who loves you, who knew not only did He know every part of you, He knew every mistake you would make, and He loved you anyways. And He put forth good works in this world for you to do. When you start to really believe that you're chosen, not forsaken, a child of God, that He came to set you free. Here's what's interesting, and I'm not going to preach to you, but Jesus didn't come to set slaves free, because he came to set the Israelites free who were already free. When he actually came to set all of us free, but they weren't slaves. They weren't in physical bondage. They were in prisons in their head, just like the one you're sitting in. And you can even know God and have a relationship with God and still choose to sit in the cage. And that's where so many of you are. And it's where the enemy wants you. Because in your cage, you're not living up to who you were created to be. You're believing the lies, and you feel real good about them, actually. You've put them up on the walls. The prison doesn't look like prison, and it feels pretty comfortable. But my prayer for you would be that that tension becomes a holy tension. That it becomes a little bit uncomfortable. That those stone floors start to get cold, and you start to want something more. And that's what I love about where you're at in your business, because so many people, you're doing this because you do want something more. And you know there's something more. You just don't quite know how to get out of the cage. You get out of the cage by being honest with yourself, by being truthful about who you are, by breaking the strongholds of what you have believed to be true for years about you. Some of you experience that early in childhood. Some of you experience it through trauma. Some of you experience it in your adulthood. Some of you have told yourself lies that you've told yourselves for so long that they feel like truth now. And it's just not okay with me. It's not okay with me. Because I think one of the greatest, most powerful things in the world is a whole gaggle of women who aren't mean, but who know what they were created to do. Who are ready to run their race and run it with passion and energy, who can set their sights outside the prison walls and say, no, I was made for something bigger than this. And it is so much more beautiful out there than it is in here. And you know what's out there? Freedom. 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 For you to be who you were created to be, for you to run your business that way. Do you know when you get real with who you are, when you press into your gifts, when you stop holding on to the crap from the critics, when you stop believing the lies, your business doesn't feel like a fight anymore. It feels like part of what you're made to do. It feels like joy, like a gift. Like at the end of the day, you go, I can't believe this is my job. Know that some of you aren't there. I just want to push you to say, maybe because you're in your own little prison. Maybe you've told yourself that it's really pretty there and that it's comfortable enough. I'm just praying for you to know that the food is crap, that you're actually not safe, and that those walls are really cold. Because outside of the bars of the prison, you're freely keeping yourself in. It's freedom. Some of you just need to remember who you are. You need to be honest about the crap you're believing about who you are. And you need to show up. Just show up. Be ambitious. Don't be slothful. Take the step. Do the thing. Jump into the void. Your regrets will be for the things you didn't chase. You'll never regret trying. You'll never regret saying that's what I want. Are you always going to succeed? No. Failure doesn't define who you are. Failure is just one of the stepping stones towards success. You can't get there if you don't fail. You can't. So stop being scared of it. It's part of how you grow. It's part of how you get there. I love y'all. I hope that you make mistakes of ambition and not mistakes of sloth. You're only going to make mistakes of ambition. You decide to unlock the door of your cell, take all your pretty pictures off the wall, walk out. Walk out. Oh, I love y'all. Hope you're having a great Thursday. And I hope this was helpful. And if you think it helps somebody else get out of their own pretty little prison, tag them, send it to them. If you're watching the replay, I love you too. I'll be back next week teaching you something. Might be the same old stuff. I might teach the same stuff over and over and over again until I learn something new, but all I can do, showing up. Thanks to everybody who's shooting me emails. It's been a really fun thing. Just getting to talk back and forth with y'all and know your hearts. So love y'all. Talk to you later. Oh, I was going to turn it off on my phone. I'm not on my phone. Here we go. Hey, boo.